been in those conversations about cloud computing, hearing terms like S3 or EC2,
Mm-hmm.
and you nod along, but like deep down you're thinking, okay, how does this stuff actually connect? Or maybe, why am I even clicking these buttons?
Right.
It's like having puzzle pieces scattered everywhere, you know?
Yeah.
You feel a bit lost.
Totally get that. That feeling is exactly why we're doing this deep dive. We want to sort of break down 5 key ideas that really help someone else make sense of it all.
Okay.
So this is for anyone who wants to, connect those dots faster, maybe for a job, maybe just because you're curious.
And where are we pulling this from?
Yeah, the insights come from a great piece called Cloud Computing Revealed, 5 Core Concepts for Beginners.
All right, let's jump in then. Let's unpack these concepts. What's the first one?
First up, virtual machines versus containers. VMs and containers.
Okay, VMs. I always kind of pictured that as like a computer inside another computer, which seemed pretty cool.
That's a good starting point, yeah. A VM gives you a whole operating system isolated on shared hardware. Think EC2 in AWS terms.
Right.
But then containers came along, often managed by things like Docker or Kubernetes. They're different. They're smaller, much lighter.
Lighter how?
Well, they only package the application and its specific needs, its dependencies, not the whole OS. So they start faster, use fewer resources.
Ah, okay. So it's about efficiency.
Efficiency, portability, consistency.
Yeah.
It really cuts down on those, well, it worked on my laptop moments. It makes moving from testing to production way smoother.
Got it. So you've got your compute, your VMs or containers running. Where does the data live? That brings us to storage, right?
Yeah.
Which always felt complicated.
Yeah, cloud storage isn't just one big thing. People often assume that. And it leads to, well, maybe not the smartest setups.
So what are the main types we need to get our heads around?
Okay, basically 3 big categories. First, object storage. Think Amazon S3. It's great for storing files, backups, website assets. It's super scalable and pretty cost-effective for large amounts of data.
Okay, like a massive digital warehouse.
Kind of, yeah. Then you have block storage.
Yeah.
This is more like a traditional hard drive for your VM, like AWS EBS volumes. It's faster for things that need quick access, like data
Not even as actual disk drive.
Exactly. And finally, file storage. This is more like a shared network drive, multiple computers or VMs needing to access the same files at the same time, like NFS or SMB shares.
Mm-hmm. So knowing the difference helps you pick the right tool for the job. Cheaper, faster, whatever you need.
Precisely. It impacts performance, cost, everything.
Okay, next concept, this one. Identity and Access Management, IAM. I have to admit, my first instinct was like, ugh, sounds complex. Maybe I'll skip this for now.
Haha, yeah, that's a common temptation. But skipping IAM, big mistake. It's basically asking for trouble.
What kind of trouble are we talking, like immediately?
Well, the biggest immediate danger is just wide open access. Someone deletes the wrong thing accidentally, or worse, someone malicious gets in. IAM is the control panel for who can do what.
So users, permissions, that sort of thing.
Exactly. Users, groups, roles, policies, it's all about the principle of least privilege. Only give the permissions needed to do a specific task, nothing more.
Okay, so it's not just security theater, it's fundamental.
Absolutely. It stops accidental damage and is, the bedrock for building securely in the cloud. You really need to grasp it early on.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, something else that felt like a maze initially. Networking in the cloud. VPCs, subnets, CIDR blocks.
Oh, yeah. Security groups, too? It's a lot of terms.
It feels like you need a secret map just to figure out how your VM talks to your database.
It can feel that way, but understanding the basics makes a huge difference. Think of a VPC, a virtual private cloud, as your own private section of the cloud network.
Okay, like my own walled garden.
Sort of, yeah. Then subnets divide that garden into smaller areas. CIDR blocks are just the way we define the IP address ranges for those areas.
And security groups.
Those are like firewalls for your specific resources, your VMs. Controlling what traffic gets in and out, grasping these helps you actually see how everything connects, makes troubleshooting way easier.
Right, it demystifies it a bit. Okay, last one. You called this a game changer earlier. Infrastructure as code, IAC.
Ah, yes, IAC. Definitely a game changer. Think about setting up a whole environment, servers, networks, databases by clicking around in the console.
Yeah, tedious.
Yeah.
And error-prone.
Exactly. And then you have to do it again for testing, staging, production. IAC lets you write code to do all that automatically.
Code, like using tools like Terraform.
Precisely. Terraform is a popular one. You define your infrastructure in code files, and the tool builds it for you, repeatably, consistently.
So you can spin up identical environments just by running some code.
Yep. Spin up, tear down, modify, all with code. It makes everything faster, more reliable, and honestly, just a better way to manage cloud resources.
Wow, okay. So bringing it all together, these 5 concepts, VMs and containers, storage types, IAM, networking basics, and IAC. What does this mean for someone listening?
It means moving from that feeling of being, kind of lost with just buzzwords
Yeah.
to actually understanding the building blocks. You start to see how you build something real.
The pieces start clicking together.
Exactly. You see why S3 exists, why you need IAM, how EC2 instances talk to each other. It provides that foundational clarity.
Which naturally leads to thinking about your own learning journey.
Right. So maybe a question for you, the listener, to think about. As you're learning more about cloud, what's one concept that still feels like your biggest puzzle right now? What makes it tricky for you?
That's a great question to chew on. Keep digging into those puzzles. That's where the real understanding happens.